Hey everybody, it's Marshall Mike here. It's my Arrow Season 5, Episode 3 review rundown. A whole lot of stuff to go through. We will get through it, but before I get started, I just want to say I am going to do an update video on why videos are behind, why shows aren't getting reviewed, why you guys should still subscribe, and why things are happening. So I will do that for you probably next week. So yeah, stick around for that. But anyway, let's get into this video. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing Arrow. A lot to talk about, so let's get started. So of course we have the new team. They're still learning. We do know that the team will grow eventually and become the team that Oliver needs. I'm hoping that they won't get rid of the team anytime soon because, you know, it's just kind of going to get repetitive if they keep getting rid of the team and getting a new team and getting, you know, like switching out characters. So I hope that this team stays constant for as long as possible throughout the next 2 seasons. Arrow has been signed through Season 7, so we'll get to that point eventually. Who knows when the other teammates will become full, like, actual good old, like, you know, actual team people? I don't know, what superheroes? You know, whatever you want to call them, vigilantes. But we have them. I do know for sure that Artemis is going to start doing archery-type things. She'll probably get a new costume, hopefully, because what she's wearing right now, that ain't good, not today. That's, like, really horrible. So we'll probably see better versions of the costumes, but let's get started with the team. So, of course, we have Rory, new member. I think that's his name, right? Ragman. Love him. I think that he's fantastic. But to get this out of the way, Felicity does reveal to him that his town's destruction is Felicity's fault, and that she redirected the missile. They will eventually probably, like, confront that. You know, that we saw Ragman, like, walk off like he was, like, so, like shocked. They will pursue that storyline. They will go down that storyline. That sounds like Felicity's, like, personal arc, which she's going to be having, is that she will be facing Rory's wrath of what he thinks of her, and we'll probably see more of that. Maybe she'll have to step off from the team for a while. I do think that it's so cool that even though I know Laurel's gone, like, Laurel will probably be doing this position as well. But I think that Felicity is the most loyal out of all of Team Arrow because she's been with them since the beginning. She has been with Oliver ever since. So, yeah, we'll probably see what happens with her. Maybe it'll drive her to a point where she can't be on the team anymore either. So we'll see. But I like that. So we got that out of the way. But let's talk about Oliver. So, of course, through his life of Team Arrow and then his life of being the mayor, we got a little bit of craziness in both. This episode was a lot about trust. We saw it back in the flashbacks about the Bratva, about, you know, trust and things like that. We'll get more of those flashbacks. And we'll get more of those kind of, like, connections. Because I think this episode was a lot about trust. So we saw that in the flashbacks and in present day. We'll see another thing about that next week. But I really like how Oliver had to put trust in his team. He didn't. Therefore, the team didn't back to him. Which is why Renee and Artemis, I still don't remember her name. Like, I gotta remember her real name. But anyway, went to go seek out Stardust. So let's talk about that. Stardust is actually a real person. I didn't even know that until I found out. I remembered about, like, SummerSlam with Stephen Amell. I forgot about SummerSlam. So when I remembered it, I was like, oh wait, Stardust, that's the wrestler, right? So Stardust is a wrestler that was in SummerSlam. Like, this is a real thing. Like, in WWE was a real thing when Stephen Amell guest starred and they had a wrestling match, which is super cool. I like that so much. I forgot all about that. And then I remembered that, and I was like, well, okay, that's where they're dragging it from. Stardust's character is named Samson. It's kind of a pull from Samson in the comics. Have you ever heard of him? I guess they kind of, like, changed his name. They do that sometimes with characters. Like, they'll take characters' names, they'll change it. Curtis, in Mr. Terrific in the comics, his name is not actually Curtis. I think his name is Michael. So they have changed names of characters before. So maybe they took Samson and turned him into Samson for this character. I thought that that was really cool. Kind of like an Easter egg. But talk about how Stardust is even more of a drug than Vertigo. So I thought that that was also pretty interesting as well. We got to see a rematch between Stardust, the wrestler, and Stephen Amell. I thought that was also pretty interesting that they fought. So that's kind of a comic book Easter egg. We have some more people as well, but we'll talk about that later on. So we got to see that with Green Arrow. He pulled his team together officially for the first time. We did get a lot of comic book Easter eggs from Mr. Terrific. We got the Fair Play jacket. I thought that was also pretty cool. It's also an Easter egg from the comics. Mr. Terrific wore that in the comic books, so that was really interesting that they brought that on there and kind of, like, explained the whole fair play thing. He has the T mask, so that's pretty cool. I don't think it's a T mask. I think it's just like the like a regular mask with the T paint. So that's so cool. It's like another direct, like, comic book look into the, like, Arrowverse or TVverse or whatever you want to call it. CW verse. I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is, they pulled from the comics and put it straight in there. So I thought that was also amazing. That was the greatest thing they could have done for Mr. Terrific. I was wondering if they were going to give him the T mask. They did, so I'm all for it. But that was really cool. So we have Team Arrow now. We have Wild Dog. We have Artemis. Again, Artemis will probably get a new suit. And then we have Ragman. So I like what they're doing with this new team. I think this new team is great because not only are they unique in different ways, like Wild Dog is like kind of different, more of like a hardcore kind of person. Artemis is going to be like the one female member, like that becomes like the femme fatale or whatever. And then we have Ragman, who's kind of like a mystical magic character. And then we have Mr. Terrific, who's like the smart, like funny character. So I like that they're all different in different ways, but they're also very younger, and that's what I like about it, because Willa Holland, I think Speedy's about there, like almost like a little bit older than them, yet she's more sophisticated and more mature. So we have much more of a younger team, and Curtis is probably even older than Thea, but he still comes off as more of a younger player in this team, because they're underdeveloped. So I like they're unique in different ways, and that they're not an actual team yet. We'll see more of that later on. I think that it's really cool to see that now, but we'll see their training develop. We'll see more of that later on, because like I said in one of my other reviews for this season, Team Arrow, the first Team Arrow, didn't even need training, most of the time. I mean, kind of Thea did, and definitely Roy. But, Laurel kind of jumped her way into the team. Diggle never needed it. So we got that already in the first Team Arrow. So now this is like the first official team we've actually seen on Arrow. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. Now let's talk about Oliver's life outside of being Green Arrow. Let's talk about him being the mayor. So much of a disaster. So Thea kind of set this up to be a disaster in the first place. Thea made Quentin deputy mayor. Oliver said to clean up this mess in the media. Susan Williams. Now, if you guys don't, I think that was her name, right? I think it was Susan Williams. She, in the comics, is actually married to Green Lantern's brother, Hal Jordans' brother. And she thinks that Hal Jordan's brother is Green Lantern, I think. But then ends up finding out that it's actually Hal. I don't know. I can't remember for sure. That's her character. So she might have Easter eggs around. Like, we might see her later on. Like, what if we went into her apartment and we saw, like, photos of things are like different. I don't know, like wouldn't like see Green Lantern Easter eggs. We've already seen Hal Jordan in the CW universe. Didn't see his face, but we saw him. So we know Green Lantern exists. His brother probably exists. What if we even see, like they could put his brother on, right? They don't have to have permission for Hal Jordan's brother. He's not even that important of a character. So I think, in my opinion, that bringing him in there would be pretty awesome. To see Hal Jordan's brother with Susan Williams. Maybe they'll just Easter egg Green Lantern, who knows for sure, but that's kind of like an Easter egg to see that she, knows Green Lantern, so maybe they'll name drop him even in the show. I don't know if they're allowed to do that or not, probably not, but we'll see. But we got Susan Williams, and another character is the DA. I thought for sure we had seen that actor. The actor kind of looks like the Brother Blood actor from like season 2? Yeah, season 2. He looks for sure like he's Brother Blood, but he's not. He's a new character. Now, in the comics, that character, I can't remember his name in the episodes, but that character is Vigilante in the comics. Now, there is actually a comic book character called Vigilante, very hardcore. He is a DA in the comics, I believe, or maybe he's an attorney, I don't know for sure. Not the district attorney, but just an attorney. In the comics, he thinks that the law, like the actual like system, is broken. It can't help him. Kind of like Punisher. So he ends up going off and just taking the law into his own hands, and kind of starts offing people. So it was really cool. I don't know. Like, does Punisher do that? Not Punisher does that. I don't know what Punisher does, but I think that was kind of. Does Punisher do that? Does Punisher go outside the law and does that for crime? Or was that Daredevil? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not big on Marvel. But anyway, he goes outside the law and starts shooting people up. So he is a character from the comics. He is Vigilante. That's his name in the comics. So they pulled him from here and put him there. Who knows? Maybe he'll become the actual Vigilante. So we'll see. He could be Prometheus. I'm kind of like underlining him as a no for Prometheus because he has a grudge with Oliver, but he doesn't have like that because they talked about like, oh hey, you were like with my wife when like 5 years or like 10 years. 10 years. Wow, in the show it's been like 10 years. Yeah, since Oliver was on the island technically. So like 10 years, almost 10 years anyway. He was with his wife. So that's kind of a grudge, but not too much of a grudge to be Prometheus. So we'll probably see clues as to who, how many different characters can be Prometheus. I'm still thinking it's Tommy, in my opinion. I think it's totally Tommy. If it's not Tommy, I'm going to be super upset. But I think it's Tommy for sure. I think that'll be a pretty cool, like, adjustment to see, like, I'm alive. Where's Laurel? Like, where's my honey at? And she's like, already be dead. So, like, Jared Leto Joker from, like, Suicide Squad, they won the only black canary, and, like, Laurel rises from the grave. Like, that, in my opinion, that would be hilarious, but that's not gonna happen. But I hope it's Tommy that's Prometheus. But anyway, we saw a little bit of that, too. So those are kind of comic book characters, like Susan Williams and the new DA, that are from the comics, that they've been put into the CW verse. So I thought that that was really cool as well. And then I don't know if there's any more Easter eggs. I think that's pretty much it. So we saw a little bit of Diggle's arc. I love that they brought Deadshot back. I thought that was fantastic. And it was, like, I thought for sure they were going to bring Deadshot back for real. Because I love, I can't remember his name, the actor who plays him, but I love Deadshot on Arrow. I thought that he was so cool when he was back in, like, season, like, 2 or, no, 1. Yeah, back in season, like, he was, like, episode 3 or 4 back in season 1, right? So I've always loved him. I love him now. I mean, it was great to have him back on the show. I still like Will Smith's Deadshot better, just because he's Will Smith. But still, I thought that Arrow's Deadshot was so cool, and I was really sad when they killed him off. They didn't even have to kill him. They could have, like, made him go all off camera, right? Like, you know what I mean? So I thought that for sure they were going to bring him back in the show. They didn't. They were like, you know what? Hallucination. And I was like, oh, like, I cried, because I was like, man, that would have been really cool. But I like the idea that Diggle needs help. He needs therapy. He needs to start a new chapter in his life. He has, you know, John Jr. Diggle. So I thought that was really cool that, you know, Lila met him up in the prison. You know, say hi to John for me. You know, so he has this family life, and he has this therapy that he needs. Like, he needs therapy for what's been happening to him. Personally, I don't think he should have ever gone back to the military. I thought that was kind of like a stupid decision, but, like, why wouldn't he just, like, stay with Lila? Maybe it's Barry's fault. Barry, it's all your fault for Flashpoint. You caused this all to happen. But yeah, and then, like, rise from the grave, Laurel. Like, what you all doing? But, like, really though, I think that John does need help. So we'll see more of that as well down the line, but I thought that that was really cool. They brought Deadshot back for a little while, too. Overall, this episode was really good. I think that it was a really solid episode. I can't wait to see what happens later on with other characters. Like, with Susan Williams, she's obviously, like, going to be back at some point. Maybe she'll even, you know, be with Oliver, like a new love interest. I don't know. We'll see. And, you know, maybe she'll find out about Oliver's secret. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll see more of the DA. So this was really cool to plant all these characters in here to get them ready for future episodes. So what did you guys think of the episode? Comment down below. If I left anything out, comment down below, and I will probably, like, I'll probably address it on, like, Twitter or something, or, like, maybe another video. But I'm just so behind on videos, so I don't want to do that right now. But anyway, comment down below. Links to my other Arrow videos. Links to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and gaming channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.